Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello all, and what is going on? This is the Club of the Man, 1993, and I'm back here for some more baseball news. As we have 6 pieces of news I would like to talk about very quickly here. The first one is a big blow to the Pirates, who have had a great start so far to this season, although as a Pittsburgher, as a Pirates fan, I'm not getting any hopes up just yet. They are off to a 12-7 start this season. They just got done sweeping the Rockies. But of course, again, I do not want to get my hopes up. It's still very early in the season. It's only been 19 games so far. So there's still 143 games left. So don't get your hopes up. But so far, so good. Give the Battle and Bucks some credit. Andrew McCutchen's looking great in his return. Brian Reynolds is off to an excellent start. Carlos Santana, Connor Joe, Ji-Hwan Bae, Rodolfo Castro are all off to good starts. Yes, a few others probably could do a little better, like Key Brian Hayes. He's starting to break out of his slump. And Jack Sawinski's getting hot. And the pitching's been okay. But of course, the biggest blow, though, unfortunately, for the Pirates is the one thing I was excited about a lot for this season for the Pirates. And that was for a hopeful breakout season for their 6'7" shortstop, Oneil Cruz. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen, as Cruz will be sidelined for 4 months, causing him to miss most of this season, unfortunately. And the reason why? He fractured his fibula. Cruz, back on April the 10th, or 9th, I believe it was, 1 to 2. He was playing, the Pirates were playing the White Sox. Cruz slid in the home plate. It was a tough situation with the whole, pitcher, the catcher and the blocking the plate stuff and whatnot. It was a tough situation. Cruz came in aggressive. Not much you could really do on the plate. Unfortunately, the way he slid, Cruz did hurt his ankle. It was just a fractured ankle, but it ended up being a fractured fibula, unfortunately. So that's going to cause him, again, 4 months of the season. It was supposed to be a breakout year for Mr. Cruz, who's been spending most of the time this season as the leadoff hitter. Only had 1 homer going in before he had the surgery and whatnot, but hopefully, he'll be contributing to a good team. Hopefully, not get my hopes up when he comes back. But it's frustrating. Again, he's definitely one of the more exciting young players to watch at just 24 years old. 6'7", outstanding shortstop as well. But it sucks. He's going to be out for about 4 months. But the Pirates have been, playing decently well since his injury. Again, they had Ji-Hwan Bae and Rodolfo Castro splitting time at second base. Now with Cruz out for a while, I think both of them do have some shortstop experience, so they're going to be getting some time playing there as well. Ji-Hwan Bae has been, not too bad so far. Rodolfo Castro has had some on again, off again signs of some power. So that would be a great addition as well. They're also looking at guys like Mark Mathias and Cupita Marcano, which how the heck he beat that slide the other night against the Rockies beats me. but he somehow scored on that. But of course, at some point, they probably will be moving Cruz from the 10-day injury list to the 60-day, which they do that. That might allow for them to open up another roster spot and bring up someone like Chris Owings, who's experienced from the minors. Yeah, big blow. Again, the Pirates have been off to a really good start so far. They're 12-7. Again, that doesn't mean things could change down the line, but yeah, this sucked. Again, as a Pirate fan, I was looking forward to two things, of course. Kutch coming back, which he's been awesome so far, and O'Neal Cruz, who, of course, I thought was a young upstart, hoping to have a nice breakout year. He had 17 home runs last year, I think just like half a season. I thought he could maybe crack 30 this year. He could next year maybe, but for now, we will just have to wait till we see the stellar 6'7" shortstop come back, though, hopefully contributing to a good team. Like I said, though, not getting my hopes up. If the Pirates are still in this position by the All-Star break, I may ease up and start to believe a little bit more. But again, not getting my hopes up, but they're off to a great start so far this year. So good job, Pirates. But sad news, though, regarding O'Neal Cruz. Other bumming news for me. Injury plague continues for Giancarlo Stanton. Once again, Stanton, for the millionth time in his career, feels like, is taking a trip to the injured list, and he's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Timetable to return, hopefully end of May, is what I've heard last, of course. But apparently he is out with a grade 2 hamstring strain, it sounds like. They've called up shortstop prospect Oswald Peraza as well. And Stanton, who is off to a decent start in just 54 plate appearances, had 4 homers, 11 RBIs, and 3 doubles. Again, he's just, up there with guys like Aaron Judge, who has 5 homers this year, and then Frenchie Cordero, who's his first year with the team as well. He's had a good start to the year so far. Again, these injury bugs just way too familiar for Stanton. This is the Slugger's 10th placement on the injured list since 2019. Ouch. And and most of them have come to some sort of leg injuries of sorts, which really sucks. Dating back to 2019, Stan has missed time with hamstring, quad, knee, and even Achilles injuries. And in that time, he's played in just 303 games of 562 possible games. He's only played about almost half of the games in that time, because he missed most of 2019. He also, he only played just a handful of games in the shortened 2020 season. I think he played most of the year in 2021. Last year he missed a quarter of the season, only played about 110 games, still got the 31 homers at least. He's closing in on 400 currently for this season. And I think as long as he can come back in 4 to 6 weeks and stay healthy, he still has a pretty good chance of getting the 400. This guy's got to get the 500 career home runs. I'm hoping he can somehow stay healthy. He's getting up there now. He's 33 now, I think he is. But this is a guy that's got to get the 500 home runs. I want to see Stan get the 500 home runs. He's been my favorite power hitter for the longest time. It's slowly faded off. I've seen a few other people, stand out as well. But he's definitely, for a while, has been one of my favorite players to watch today. But yeah, it just sucks. Of course, that does lead to questions like Aaron Hicks, who's on a 7-year deal with he has 3 years left, I think it is, but he's basically a fourth outfielder on a 7-year deal. There have been some talks of trading him, but now with Stanton out, that opens up the door for Aaron Hicks. There's also Willie Calhoun, former Cardinal Harrison Bader, who I think was not injured. And then there's Isaiah Falefa, also an option as well, who played shortstop most of last year. Might get some time in the outfield as well, as the Yankees do want to upgrade at shortstop. But again, the hope is that Stanton is ready to return in late May. Again, he just can't catch a break. I just still can't believe it. Since 2019, He's only played in just a little over half of the possible games that the Yankees have played. That's sad. That is really sad. How much time he's had taken away. He could have been closing on 500 home runs right now if he was healthy. I'm pretty sure if he was healthy, he would have gotten the 40 homers last year. I think he would have. I mean, yes, the average slump for him, he only hit like 211 last year, but the power was still there. So I believe he still could do it. It's going to be close, though, to see if he gets to 500 home runs. I still want to see him do it. Like, he is someone that's due for 500 homers. I think he's at 381 last I checked. So as long as he can stay healthy after he comes back, I think he'll get to 400 this year. I wish we can see another 2017 he had when he hit 59 home runs with the Marlins. And I think most of those came in the second half of the season. I think at the All-Star break, he only had 18, I think? Because he was red hot in that second half. Red hot. There was another season, I remember, he only played in 74 games, I think it was, but he had 27 homers. If he would have been healthy that season, imagine how many. This guy has just been hampered left and right with injuries. It's like how Ken Griffey Jr. was in the second half of his career. Remember, he had a 5-year span where Griffey hit 250 homers. After that, he was limited like crazy to injuries. He could have gotten to 700 homers. Heck, if Stan was healthy, he probably could have cracked 600 homers. I think he'll only get to 500. If he can stay healthy, I think Stan will at least get the 500 homers. He should. But yeah, that's a blow right there. But enough of the injury bug. Let's talk about a couple little positives, though. Not the biggest one, but the first one. Ooh, I accidentally exited out of the one I wanted to look at. 1 second here. There we go. Okay. The first one. I didn't realize he was a free agent. But former Yankee Gary Sanchez, who was with the Twins last season, has recently agreed to a minor league deal with the San Francisco Giants. He will make $4 million if he cracks the major league roster. The deal, of course, was pending a physical, and he can opt out of his contract and he's not in the big leagues by May 1st, which is coming up. And the last I knew, I don't think he's cracked the big league roster, despite the fact that Giants lost their backstop. Sanchez, who's only 30 years old, spent the 2022 season with the Twins after being traded to the Twins with Gio Urshela for Josh Donaldson, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Ben Rortvet to the Bronx. In the only season he spent with the Twins, he had 471 plate appearances. He had just 205 with 16 homers. Yes, he had some pop in there, but mad stuff at the plate. And also, he struggled against lefties, hitting a .165 in his 126 plate appearances. Of course, he's been a little inconsistent. He's had some good power years, as we've all seen him do, especially in his rookie year when he hit over 20 homers in just 50 games, which was outstanding. But yeah, so the Giants, though, he didn't seem like he really had the most fitting year with the Twins, so now he's getting a minor league deal for a possible opportunity with the Giants. That might open up, because right now, the Giants added further depth on the plate, given the struggles of former number 2 prospect Joey Bart and the lack of clear alternatives behind him. They had Roberto Perez, who was opening up as the other backstop on the big league roster. But unfortunately, Perez just suffered another season-ending injury. Perez was with the Pirates last year, and he played just a handful of games before he suffered a season-ending injury there. That blows. They also have Rule 5 catcher/outfielder Blake Sabol, and they also have Austin Wynns in AAA. Of course, now with Bart, who has been kind of iffy, limited for the major league level, it'll be an interesting one for him. So that could open up a door for Sanchez to get a shot, especially with Roberto Perez being out for the rest of the season. So chances could be there. He has experience. He still has some pop when he gets the at-bats, but as far as saying for average, that might hurt him a little bit. So Sanchez signs a minor league deal, but again, we'll see if he makes it to the big leagues. What I do like also My boy Luke Voit. Luke Voit found himself another home. Well, he had already done, but there was rumors that this is the reason why he did what he did. So Luke Voit had originally signed a minor league deal with the Brewers. And then he was trying to duke out for the last spot of the roster with Keston Wera, who'd been with the Brewers for a long time, but has been struggling the past couple of seasons. And he struggled so bad this spring training that the Brewers wanted to give Luke Voit his spot on the main roster. Voit, though, did opt out of his minor league deal to sign for more money. And he did re-sign a one-year deal with the Milwaukee Brewers. I think he's doing okay so far. Let me just go to the Brewers page, where I think they've been using Voit more as like a platoon-type player, as they have Rowdy Tellez and a stacked outfield. Let me see if Mr. Voit has hit any homers yet. Go here. He has not. But let me check that batting average. He is hitting... Come on. 270 and 37 at-bats with 4 RBIs. Okay, no home runs yet. Voit, though, the reason why I became a big fan of Voit, as I always say, is because I'm always a fan of guys who have power. I like the long ball. I've never hit a long ball in a game in my life. In practice, just for fun, yes, but not in an actual game. But I became a fan of his when he was the league leader in the shortened 2020 season, when he had 22 home runs. Then, of course, injuries happened in 2021. Anthony Rizzo took his spot, went to the Padres, did well, but then got traded in the Nationals deal with Juan Soto when Eric Hosmer opted out of the deal. And he was okay. I mean, yes, he didn't have the greatest plate discipline, a typical, 20-homer guy, but lower batting average type person. Okay, but he's a reasonable bat. And he is a nice platoon piece for the Brewers. So, no homers yet for Voit, but hopefully he'll heat up and maybe crack the 20-homer mark. I still wish he would have been able to, have a full season. If he would have had a full season in 2020 with the pop he showed in his bat, he probably would have gotten to 40 homers. I would have loved to see Luke Voit get the 40 homers. But unfortunately, though, those days are well behind him, unfortunately. But yes, Luke Voit did re-sign a new one-year deal with the Brewers on a major league deal. 2 more pieces of news left. The Padres continue to lock people up for long term. And their infield seems pretty set for a while. Most of their team actually seems pretty set for a while, on the offense at least. As Jake Crononworth, who's moved all over the diamond and seemingly has settled mostly at first base for this coming season, signed a contract extension with the Padres back on April 1st, signing a 7-year deal, and it'll be worth $80 million. So, he's not the most standout guy on the roster. He's not a superstar like Fernando Tatis Jr., who's supposed to be returning tomorrow, I heard, or a Manny Machado, or a Xander Bogaerts, or a Juan Soto. He's, still a capable player to keep around to work with these guys for quite a while. He was originally brought over from the Rays in the Tommy Pham trade for Hunter Renfroe in December of 2019. And again, he's definitely kind of that spark plug player where he'll provide a decent bat with some good offense. He can bounce around all over in the infield, so he is pretty reliable. Again, first base is probably where he's going to spend most of his time this season, but you can still see him pop up at second, or at shortstop at times as well. Of course, they do have A-Sung Kim probably at second base, Xander Bogaerts holding off at short, Machado at third, and again, when Fernando Tatis Jr. comes back this week, he'll probably be in the outfield. I think right field last I heard. Or left, not sure which one he'll be in yet, but I'm pretty sure he'll probably be one of the corner outfield spots. Again, he's a good fielder, solid hitter. He's no superstar hitter, but he is a solid addition that, not a heck of a lot of money, but a good, piece for the Padres to hold on to. And of course, with the rest of the players, and of course also too, Last I saw, Nelly Cruz was off to a decent start as well. Speaking of the Padres, but I'm getting a little distracted here. But yeah, I think this was another good sign for the Padres, who are seeming to be on a very serious stride right now. Signs a lot of players to long-term deals, including some pieces of pitching also. But I'm pretty sure, of course, as well, they probably use a little more help on the pitching a little longer term. But yeah, they seem pretty set. And adding in Crononworth long-term was also a good deal. If I look at his numbers right now, he so far is hitting, well, just .215, okay, but he's got 3 homers, 8 RBIs, but he's also got a good utility infielder. He will be a great piece for their team for quite a while. So that's Crononworth getting a 7-year contract extension. And then last but not least, Pittsburgh native Ian Happ signed a new deal with the Chicago Cubs of a 3-year extension, giving him $61 million guaranteed with a full no-trade clause. He'll receive $3 million in signing bonuses, successful $20 million salaries in 2024-2025, and $18 million in 2026. He, of course, was set to be a free agent after the season, but the Cubs kept him around in the midst of signing a lot of veterans this past offseason. I feel like they kind of still needed some piece from the past to be in there, and grabbing at Happ I thought was a great deal. Again, he definitely joins in, a little longer term with guys like Dansby Swanson, Jameson Taillon, and Seiya Suzuki. Most of those guys were signed by the Cubs this past offseason, so it's a good little, experienced player that you've kind of somewhat built the team around a little bit in this rebuilding stage. So it's pretty, reasonable that they do that as well there. So I'm glad that, of course, the Cubs re-signed Ian Happ to that long-term deal. And that's basically it for now. So that is 6 topics. Again, the biggest one was O'Neal Cruz's injury. Giancarlo Stanton's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks also. But Cruz, 4 months. Ouch. Again, we have the Luke Voit and Gary Sanchez signings, and also the contract extensions of Jake Crononworth and Ian Happ. Good pickups there as well for longer-term deals for both the Cubs and the Padres, who I'm still rooting for to win the World Series probably this year. The Padres they're still the upcoming team that's gotten a lot of the players. I am excited to see Fernando Tatis Jr. return tomorrow, so hopefully it'll all be good. So guys, that's going to do it. And I think I messed up on my last video, but yes, that's my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on these pieces of baseball news? Any other baseball news I may have missed? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93. Also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And don't forget, guys, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. Better stay tuned for some more baseball news, because I am the man himself.